Welcome to another episode of Mind Your Business, the podcast. My name is Abby, and each week I will be chatting to a different independent business owner about the story behind their business journey and how they built their brand. Enjoy the episode. So welcome back to another episode of Mind Your Business. So this week I'm joined by Louise from Frida and Coco Vintage. So welcome, Louise.
Hello, how are you doing?
Thank you so much for joining me. So why don't you tell us a wee bit more about what led up to you opening this shop?
I suppose a number of things all happened at one time. I had been a teacher for 15 years and I'd went to Glasgow School of Art.
Right.
I'd been a jewellery designer, so I was always creative.
Yeah.
And I always had a major obsession with fashion.
Mm-hmm.
So like when I was younger, my friends would dress quite conservatively and they used to enjoy placing bets in the taxi. What the hell is she going to turn up in tonight? And quite often at the last minute a skirt would become like a top, or I would just fashion the outfit. And so I think, without sounding arrogant, I always liked things that were a bit unusual, and I was always a collector, so I always actually collected clothes and things. So fell into teaching, really quite enjoyed it, and then kind of a few kind of like not so great things happened. So basically I felt that teaching was kind of making me quite anxious, and some of the kids were so demanding that I felt quite drained at the end of the day.
Yeah, can
so
imagine.
I've got 2 girls, and by the time I got home at night I wasn't really enjoying it as much.
Right.
So I didn't really have a backup plan. But sadly for me, but such is life, on just before my 40th birthday I fell pregnant with my 3rd child and sadly lost that child. So I was devastated. But at the same time, in my workplace also, I felt really unsupported by the 2 colleagues I was working with. So eventually I was signed off, and during that period I just really wanted to think, I don't see myself returning really to that environment. It wasn't really possible. What on earth am I going to do? And for quite a few months I just had nothing. And then I slowly started to kind of fantasize, what would it be like if you were doing your own thing and you weren't going back to working for someone else. So that's how it initially grew.
That's the real dream, isn't it? Working.
It is, yeah.
So how did you kind of come up with the idea for this business then? Once you kind of started thinking that you wanted your own thing, was this always the route you were going to go down?
No, it was a process. And if you'd said to me all these years ago, you're going to be like a shopkeeper or own your own wee vintage boutique, I would never have believed you. And I tell you why, because I always had fairly low confidence.
Right.
I have that kind of imposter syndrome where I quite often block. So I'll say to myself, it's like a mental block, I'll go, oh no, there's no way I could do that. And in reality, when I sat and thought while I was off, when I started to come through like a kind of happier phase after being signed off ill, and I started to get happier and a bit clearer, I suddenly thought, you teach 140 kids a day. You run so many things at the one time. For goodness sake, something like maybe setting up your own website with like selling your artwork or homemade jewellery. These are the things that friends and family had suggested. It was also quite therapeutic as well. So after I lost the baby, my friend did something really kind. She booked me on a wee jewellery making course. And we both went and we made jewellery, and we took it away. And when she went back to work and I was still off, I made a necklace every day. And it focused me and it excited me. And then I started putting photographs online. Not that great, quite cringy when I look at them now. But it gave me something to do. So it was quite good. Focus. So then I think a penultimate thing happened. My husband kind of made a joke one night and said, well, I mean, you could always sell your clothes. And I was like, I will never ever sell any of my clothes, because to me I was fairly possessive with my clothes, not with like friends and family that wanted to borrow things, but they meant a lot to me. And I would go and look at them now and again. And as an art teacher, it was practicality. So there could be absolutely beautiful things from Fraser's, but I wasn't going to wear them and risk them getting covered in paint in school. And with having 2 kids and a full-time job, nights out were far and few between. Weddings once every couple of years. And so as soon as he put that, it was like a small seed that he implanted in my head.
Yeah.
Something like a switch turned on. I can't describe it. So he took the two kids swimming. And I thought, I've got about 3 hours here. And I went into the bedroom and I thought, out of interest, I wonder how many things in this wardrobe I haven't worn.
Yeah.
I might not fit into. And 3 hours later, 100 things from my wardrobe were all over the floor and hanging up. And there and then, I definitely had a moment of a light bulb of, you kind of have the starting of a stock for a shop.
Yeah.
And also, the stuff is in good condition. It's pretty, it's different.
Yeah.
I think, again, without sounding arrogant, I've always had a bit of an eye for nice things, nice colours, nice prints. And that was it. I got myself a wee notebook, never told anyone, kind of felt a bit happier. Oh, this is quite fun.
Yeah.
Started maybe just for a laugh, listing, okay, if I bought that dress for 80 quid in Fraser's, it's never been worn, but then you can't really sell something that's not got tags on it for as much.
Yeah.
Would someone even pay 30 for it? I didn't even think about eBay or anything like that.
Yeah.
My friends, a few of them said, it's a bit risky. Start small, go online, see if it's a success, and then wait and see. But I was just like, no, I don't think so. So the next stage, it was like small steps, was actually just out of nosiness, see what properties are available. And every night, I kind of just did a small amount of things over like maybe like 2-3 months, and got bolder and bolder. Yeah. Until I found myself in here, in an empty space, looking around it, thinking, I love this. Yeah, it's a beautiful space. Love it.
Just having somewhere that's your own as well, that you can.
So that was really how it began, really.
That's amazing. So when was that you moved into this place?
So I think I maybe moved in about end of May, start of June. So it's not really been that long.
This year?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I kind of just completely, over the summer holidays, my husband was at home with the kids and I just threw myself completely and utterly into it 6 days a week. And that's the difference. Normally we go nice holidays, we have extra income, and we took about £7,000 and just straight into the business and some more.
That's a scary step.
And also the co-parenting thing, my husband Brian had to be with the kids nearly every day, which was unusual. But the kids love helping out in the shop as well.
Oh,
so it's pretty cool. Yeah, and they tell all their friends, are quite proud. Oh. And I got myself a mug that says Boss Lady or Boss Girl. Yes. I love those ones. And a couple of wee notepads.
No, that is so mad though, that this was like, you just threw yourself right in. You obviously knew it was like the right thing.
I had this kind of real gut feeling of evaluating, getting to a point in my life, as I say, like sad things happening, being up and down, feeling your mental health is compromised, thinking maybe the teaching isn't bringing out the best in you. I still think I was a really good teacher, I still think I taught good classes, but there was less and less creativity, and I really felt I want something to feed my soul, something that just makes me so delighted to get out of bed in the morning. I wasn't really feeling that with teaching in certain days, especially because my co-workers were just fairly not very friendly, and I'm quite a friendly, sociable person. The thing about in here is the people are brilliant, so you meet different people every day, tourists, neighbours. I'm part of the street now. It's so sociable, and at times teaching could be lonely. There's nothing lonely about being in here, and I'm always surrounded by sparkle and
I know, it's
nice
amazing
stuff.
In here,
so it kind of cheers you up, you know. So it just kind of felt good, and I just felt, when I explained it to my husband, I said, the only thing I can say to you is I feel completely compelled to do this. I know it's a massive risk, but something deep down is telling me, why not? Just
life's too short not to just go for it.
Just came out of nowhere, that feeling,
because you would always have that kind of regret if you never went for it. And
exactly,
and because you said you love fashion and stuff, this is like the perfect job. Like, you just get to source clothes.
It really is. And like, you know, I remember one day, I think it was like near Christmas time, and I was in Silverburn, and usually at Christmas time my husband like will have a plan of what we're doing, but he knows that I like shopping, that I enjoy it. So at Christmas time he'll say, look, this is our budget, there's a card, you go and get, there's lots of females in my family, go and get what you want for them. So I found myself in TK Maxx and perfumes for people and wee handbags and scarves, and this woman just stopped me and kind of said, wow, you look like a lady that really knows how to shop. I'm trying to hunt for a wallet for my husband's secretary, and I just don't have a clue where to start. And so I was like, right, come with me. Do you know anything about her?
Yeah.
Do you know if you know? And I suppose that was a compliment, but that was like an early thing of, yeah,
you
maybe
have
I
an
could
eye for
actually
it.
make shopping like a bit of a living.
Yeah, I know, you get to do shopping and it's guilt free.
I have to stop sometimes. It's a wee bit too tempting.
Yeah, I think I would be so like,
you want to buy everything.
yeah,
you know.
so hard to stop all the sparkly things.
Totally.
Yeah, so the name, where did that come from?
So the name, Frida and Coco, basically when I was a teacher, one of my favourite things to teach was art history. So I used to love talking to the kids about paintings and the stories behind them.
Yeah.
So Frida Kahlo, Mexican artist, is probably one of my main top heroes, female heroes.
Yeah.
Went through terrible things in her life, had a terrible accident at the age of 18, but painted every day, you know, had to go through operations, but just totally was like painting through the pain.
Yeah.
And just really inspiration. She was unconventional, and people talked about her, but she didn't mind. Coco Chanel, obviously, one of the women as well that kind of put a bit of a twist and a spin on to be elegant and feminine. You don't have to wear big floaty dresses.
Yeah.
It kind of like taking like horse riding gear and like tight pencil trousers and like making like women want to like wear them rather than big flouncy skirts all the time to feel quite empowered. So I went for Frida and Coco. Initially it was supposed to be the other way around. So
right.
I actually was obsessed with Coco and Frida, and all I did was like mood boards and like cut out things of magazines and did arty things. And then when I googled the name, I actually found there was a place in Australia, a boutique,
Right.
and I just had a worry that every time someone googled it,
Yeah.
they would just actually, you know, even if it was Coco Frida Glasgow. So I thought, just spin it round.
Yeah.
And it bugged me for a couple of days.
Yeah, because you'll be so used to hearing it the other
I was
way.
just like, this is weird, it's not quite as pretty, it's not quite as nice, but no, I think it's just fine now.
Yeah,
you know?
no, I think it's a great name.
So, thank you. I also have 2 kittens that are sisters. So they're called Frida and Coco.
Aww.
So they're kind of like my wee mascots as well.
That's so cute.
It's quite cool, and a lot of people that come in the shop when I tell them, and when they know it's vaguely related to cats, like there's so many people that love cats out there.
Yeah.
I've joined like a pure secret society of cat lovers.
Cat lovers, totally.
So now I hear all the cat stories of people bringing cat pictures in. So it's brilliant.
So was there ever any other names in the running, or was that just kind of
I think, you
from the
know,
get-go?
this is going to sound maybe a bit out there, but I'm quite a spiritual person, and I've always believed in magical things in the universe, and I'm not psychic at all, but I like things like that, and I like spirituality, and I used to try and do my own tarot cards without really knowing what I was doing. Just kind of like these angel cards and things. And years ago, without a word of a lie, I quite often would get this card that would come up about, and I just thought it was the most bizarre thing ever, because we never had pets, and it says spend time around cats and it will bring you luck. And I just thought, I don't know anyone with cats, don't see myself getting a cat, this is bizarre, but it would always pop up. And so there was one day, literally, I was sitting while I was off, and I was like, I wonder like if I should get some kittens just like out the blue. And then I was like, but I'd kind of need some kind of sign. So weirdly, me and my wee girl were collecting the Beatrix Potter 50 pences with all the animals on it. And I went and got my shopping in M&S, got the change, and one of the coins was really, really shiny. And I flipped it over and it had a tabby cat on it. And I got my 2 kittens off of Gumtree the next day.
Really, that was your sign?
And as strange and as wacky, and you can say whatever you want about it, the cats, especially after losing the baby, really brought me joy. And really brought me love. And not only that, I don't think if I hadn't had the cats, I wouldn't even have had the shop, because I actually named them first of all Frida and Coco.
So they were
and
first.
That's actually the name of the shop. So they came along first. So I actually believe that the universe kind of provided me with something really fluffy and happy, and
that was kind of always the plan.
we have nicknames
just guiding
for
you
them.
To it.
So we call them Freed Cakes and Coco Loco, but I don't know if Freed Cakes and Coco Loco, people might think I'm selling cakes.
Maybe. So Frida and Coco. No, I love that name though. I think that's so cool.
Thank you.
And your branding, obviously I'll pop pictures of the shop if you're okay with that on the Instagram when this episode goes live, but the outside of the shop, so bright, colourful, the name, I love it, all the different colours, and So was that always like the vision, or did you ever see going in a different direction? Or
it's interesting because someone told me when you start your own business, people will be full of opinions for you.
Yeah.
And I've not read that much. I'm still reading things about being a businesswoman, but a lot of people said, but you'll find your own way. Accept these suggestions, but do eventually what you want to do.
Totally.
So I've always been associated with bright colours. I like bright colours myself.
Yeah.
So quite early on, I did illustration at art school, so I love to do collage. And instead of paying someone else to do my logo for me, I did have a few friends that offered to do things for me. I just sat one night at the kitchen table and just got all my wee kind of bits and bobs in a bag, and then fashioned together a wee version of what became my leaflet. And it was a picture of me from the 70s on a swing, which I thought looked quite vintagey and quite out there. And when it came to the signage, I just knew I wanted a kind of circus letter type effect, something really playful and fun, because I want the shop to be fun. And so I went down that route of just fun and funky and kind of quirky.
And you see that even in the shop, all your wee kind of bits around, and I love your wee signs and stuff. And
thanks.
I love that neon one actually.
Oh, do you like that? Thanks. I had a few hairy moments where literally I just didn't think things through, and there was one day I was near the window with the girls sign, and there was an old man on the approach.
Quickly to the close sign.
And it was just hilarious because I was so naive, but I thought the council might phone me up and say, what kind of establishment are you actually running?
Dodgy dealings
and
going
now
on.
It's a running joke because I happened to say to my friends down in the sandwich shop, they'd been friends to me a couple of months before me, and now the chef every day says, how are clients, how's business? And I'm like, this place is not that kind of place, but I was trying to be all kind of just like Topshop, and if I could neon sign the whole place.
I love neon signs.
It becomes obsessive because initially I wanted to actually zone the shop, so I wanted a vintage zone with a neon sign that said vintage, a pre-loved zone, cool. And then a designer zone, because I felt people might get confused and want to know where's the new stuff, where's the old stuff, where's the stuff in between. But there just wasn't the budget for that. So
I know they're so expensive.
There's time for more.
I'm totally obsessed with neon signs. I want one in my living room.
You can get everything you want, that's the thing, and that's even worse when it says, like that one was already available obviously, but there's ones where you can just have your favourite quotations and I would just cover every wall.
So do you kind of have a bit of mix? You said you have some like newer stuff and then the vintage stuff, so you kind of...
Definitely. What I wanted to do was, I took inspiration from another couple of places that I'd seen, but I wanted, although I love vintage, I kind of thought I don't want to sell pure vintage, I want to mix it up and do a bit of a twist. So I thought I'll combine about 100 to 200 of my own pieces that are what I would call really well looked after, pre-loved. Quite often, never actually worn, but sadly I would do what a lot of women and men do, take the tags off straight away without even trying on, because I have eczema and I hate anything. So even if it was a designer label or anything, even the inside one, it would all get chopped off. But I wanted to have also a bit of a designer twist in it, because I feel I didn't want to limit people. Price points as well. I wanted it to be so that if someone just wants a scarf as a gift for £4, but also if someone wanted to buy a bag that was designer at 90, they could. It can be confusing for people, but other people just kind of know it now as you have to look about and, or I can show them where the designer things are or whatever, but they're dotted. It's nice to have that kind of... Thanks. It's not what everyone's expecting. And quite a few people, because the shop had been a charity shop for 30 years, really just still came in and were a bit disappointed. Is it not the charity shop? And I was like, no, I'm really sorry. But I'm just trying to have a vintage shop and do something a bit different. So word is kind of spreading, and it helped tremendously when I got rid of the red colour that was underneath, because local people, until that went away, were still like, it's the charity shop. And I love charity shops. I absolutely adore them. But I just was like, no, it's something a bit different. I'm the charity now, unfortunately. And if we become successful, I would love to have charity events and things. That's all in the future for sure. But I just have to pay my bills just now. That's when you're just the charity is me.
Rude. So I know you're just pretty new in business. So have there been any kind of wee things that have maybe cropped up that you've learnt from already? Any?
Definitely. Two main things, I think. One thing was not having the card machine set up quick enough. Dithered and dathered about 2-3 weeks and probably lost a bit of money, quite a bit. Even though I'd done my research, when it comes to technology, I am not the most confident. I never have been. I'm a creative person. I'm getting better, but got myself into a tizzy, and then it just wasn't great for customers or me. I was having to send people away to withdraw cash. And although some vintage places that I've been to do operate on a cash only basis, you risk alienating such a massive amount of your customer base because most people don't carry cash these days.
That's
it's contactless, it's quick. And you're also, I think research shows, more likely to treat yourself if you're putting it on a credit card than if you physically withdraw 300 quid. You actually go, oh no, I've already got a skirt like that.
Totally.
But if you go, well, do you know what, I'll shove it on the credit card, I might pay it next month.
It's not really spending money.
And I've done that myself, so it has revolution, just the wee small machine that I've got. And the amazing thing is also it keeps me organised because it gives me like a weekly sales account and it shows me spikes and sales and things like that, and it lets me actually set goals for myself. So other than just a notepad with cash in, cash out and all that kind of
you can kind of see
more professional.
Times where you're busy or days where you're kind of...
So that was the first thing. The second thing was more funny. I wasn't actually open. I was behind the scenes cleaning, tidying, and I had put out on a mannequin a beautiful pink sequin coat, which I absolutely was obsessed with. I picked it up in Topshop, showed the picture to my sister, she loved it, and I said, at the time I was going to paint the outside pink. I said, on my opening night, when I have my wee DJ set and all that and have people in, that is going to go as the main focus on the window. That will draw everyone in. And a man knocked on the door. And I said, I'm not actually open at the moment, I'm just getting, I need to come in. And he rushed through and he saw the jacket and he just flung his backpack on the floor, took his jacket off, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? I was having a customer, I didn't even have a box to be taken at sale. He was like a force of nature. He was called Roberto, he was from New York, he was a drag queen. Shoved on the coat and went, yep, this is me. And I'm thinking, oh no, you're not selling it, do not sell it, no matter what he offered you. 10 minutes later, I've sold it for not even anywhere near what I expected, because I paid a certain price for it, plus it's sold out online, can't be bought again. But he looked fabulous in it. He said, hook a sister up, where I'm going there ain't any sequins, I need this.
Life or death sequin emergency.
It's for my window, it's for my opening night. And he was like, I'm going to Berlin, he said, and in the places I go there is none. So he was like, I don't know if I can afford it. And the thing was, it was like £80 and it was worth about 160, and still to him that was quite a lot of money, which is, he was on a budget. So he said, I'll leave and think about it for half an hour, I'll send a picture to my friend in New York. And the whole time I was thinking, please don't come back. Not that he was an amazing person, but I thought, I'm not selling it, what am I doing? Well, he came right back up the road. I told him about other vintage places, and he said, no, Louise, or Louisa, he called me Louise like that, no, Louisa, he said, I need this. He says, and my friend just says, yep, chuck the money at her and run. So I was like, okay, I just thought, no, so you've said you're selling it now, you just can't break this man's heart. And I thought, he will look fabulous in it. So I wrapped it up. He was like my first customer. He gave me the money, and actually that week I was pretty skint, so it was 80 quid that I didn't have. But it was really, really funny. So before he left, he gave me like good advice, kind of like, because he'd worked in fashion, and he was just really positive and like a ray of sunshine. And he said that he'd been in some of the vintage places nearby and he'd felt uncomfortable. He said, but I never felt uncomfortable when I came into yours. What I eventually did was I went online eBay, bought a similar one. There was one for double the price.
Oh no.
And I have vowed no more drag queens. I don't care how lovely they are.
They just dazzle you and they're
if
selling them.
Sometimes I see a hint of a drag queen across the road and I'm like, get that coat in the back, because I swear to God, if that coat goes back out, and I've got a friend whose brother-in-law is a drag queen. They're amazing. But I'm like, I need to hide it from them.
Don't take my
because
coat.
They can sense that I have this coat. And
big secret.
I didn't realise that on eBay they actually call it the drag queen coat.
Oh, really?
So they're probably searching for it.
Oh, so they're
on that. They're like, that looks like a shop where that could be sold.
Yeah.
So I don't trust myself not to sell the other one, and that really would be
so
a nightmare.
Funny.
So that's my fun story. So those were two things.
Yeah.
But
you always get those wee things there when you're starting it, and those wee teething problems.
Well, but it was fun, and I liked it. I think it's a good story because
that's a great
he needed
first
it more
sale.
than me.
Totally.
And I just imagine that he's on stage somewhere.
Yeah, you should have got him to send you a picture
I
of
know,
that.
he said he would, but I could imagine. I also threw in a free hairband that was my daughter's, and another couple of things that I just thought, yeah, you'll just rock them.
Oh.
Just take them, put them in the bag. You know? So.
I imagine you see some characters in here. Do you get a lot of...
There's unusual people. I had a conversation with a drunk man one day at the door for an hour. We talked about Trump. We talked about women. He told me how much he loved Jane Fonda in the 70s. I had to kind of help him as he was kind of slightly staggering. And he kept saying, I don't know why I'm in a women's clothes shop. And I was like, well, that's okay, that's fine. But I had two old women totally vocally harassing me.
Oh, wow.
Because I had popped in the back. The ladies had came in. They looked just like two really nice grannies to me. And there was two American young girls from Colorado. And I thought, right, I've just been chatting to that drunk man for an hour. My throat, I need a herbal tea. Those four people don't look like thieves.
Yeah.
I'm safe to get the kettle on. 5 minutes, I'll be right back out.
Yeah.
And while I was just making my way back out with my cup of tea, these two old ladies just shouted, good luck trying to buy anything out of here. You need 2 jobs to be able to afford anything in this place. And I was like, what?
How rude.
I was like, just totally stunned, because I think of myself as quite a nice person.
Yeah.
And I honestly wasn't prepared for it. I was shocked. And the girls were just giggling. They were about 20 and they were just like, never worry about it.
Yeah.
And one of them shouted back after the women, I've got 2 jobs and I think our place is brilliant.
Oh.
And we put Whitney Houston on and they stayed and they spent 140 quid each.
Aye.
And I just felt, there you go, ladies.
Yeah, that just proves it.
And I thought, they had me all wrong, but basically, again, they thought that they could get a dress for £3 and they were annoyed, and that's going to take a bit of time to get, but I just couldn't believe they would actually, because I would never do that in a shop.
Not
I would never just
vocally start shouting at someone.
This place has become like my wee second home. I could move in here. I think my husband and my kids would miss me, but I'd be quite happy to move in here, because I've just tried to make it as pretty and as happy and as attractive, and it's my wee positive space. So it felt a bit like someone had just barged through my living room and just went, oh, look at the state of this place. I was really quite, and then I just thought, you can't let that, you're going to get people all sorts of walks of life, and you just have to go, thanks for your opinion, see you again, have a good day.
Kill them with kindness. Yeah, that's the thing, when you're on such a busy road, you're going to get all sorts of people coming in.
Most people, 98%, are lovely. Yeah. Really lovely. I was cold one day and a lady across the road brought me a 1940s Bakelite heater in. Oh. Plug that in, sell it on eBay, heat yourself up, hen. Oh. Another woman passes by every day. She's really smart. She waves at me. She's called Rose. Oh. She brought me 2 lots of sets of tea and said welcome in the neighbourhood.
Oh, and that's so nice.
It's great. I've made friends with the lady upstairs. She used to run 3 boutiques in America, so she gives me advice now and again. Yeah. So people have kind of taken me under their wing.
Oh, that's good though, that people are kind of getting behind it. And
really nice.
Yeah, no, that's so good. Let me see. Yeah, so I wanted to chat a wee bit about the sort of vintage side of things, because I know just now people seem to be kind of leaning more towards like the sustainable fashion and away from the fast fashion and all that stuff.
Definitely.
So do you notice that there is a sort of shift happening?
I think it kind of, for me, when I was a student at art school, I never wanted to look like all my other friends, and not in a bad way, they look beautiful, but I would want to wear something that was just me, that was different. Yeah. I think the thing with vintage is for me, I've never been to a vintage sale, only in the last couple of months. I've now been to 5. Again, without being arrogant, I feel like I'm not an expert, but I feel like I'm gaining in my confidence. And I just don't think that you can get some of those prints anymore. So whether it's on a shirt, whether it's on a belt or a scarf, they're so unusual, and most fashion designers even admit getting into the archives of a vintage print and then producing a line based on it or inspired by it. Because I don't know, they're just so creative. I don't think you see clothes like that anymore. There is lovely clothes out there, don't get me wrong, but I just think that they're attention grabbing, you know. Plus the beauty for me is someone came in the other day and I love what she was doing. The girl came in, she was mixing the vintage skirts with like a Zara t-shirt, and it just went really well together. So I think that there's a lot of stories behind the vintage stuff as well. Like I try to imagine with someone going like on a first date, you know, quite often, like, was it a bridesmaid's dress? You know, everyone's got those Polaroids from the 70s. It was really way out bizarre dresses that they were probably forced to wear, and they probably cringe now. But and the sparkle stuff as well. I think hopefully students want to kind of, more people are a bit, I think that people are a bit daring with what they want to wear, do you know what I mean? And there will be people that don't like vintage at all, but then the people that love it are like, you know, they really collect it and they really know about the labels. And I just, it's collectible. You know, there's something different about it. Primark, places like that, fast fashion, I think it's out there and it's never going to go away. And I think, you know, they've got a really important place in retail, especially if you're on a tight budget. Do you know what I mean? I don't think there's anything particularly wrong with it, but it definitely is quite concerning if things aren't a good fabric. I've even found myself chucking things away because if after 3-4 washes they just don't really
you get that, you buy a
I don't think you'd do that with a vintage dress. You'd hang it up somewhere and you'd look after it.
I think the quality of stuff from,
sometimes
like,
it's pure silk.
you
know, I went to a vintage fair and actually managed to get a £600 Hermes scarf, pure silk, for a £5.
Oh my god.
And that is one of the most exciting things that has ever happened to me in my life. Do you
get so excited when you find that one thing?
I wasn't prepared for it, because when I went into the sale, I love looking at the scarves, the granny-ish, more granny-ish the better, the more floral, the more crazy looking, but the scarves had just been dumped in like a kind of parcel bag, and everyone was walking past them, and all I could see was like the top parts of the scarves, and I was like, this is really infuriating. So without anyone kind of seeing me, I just kind of tipped the bag and emptied it. And as I went down on my hands and knees to try and find things, I just saw a polo player in orange and black, and I was like,
go for
and I
that.
looked over because I was half expecting the guy that runs it to be like, because no one was looking at the scarves. As soon as I kind of tipped them out, there was about 30 women, because they'd been released
fighting
into the
over
world. And initially I thought, that's a really good copy from Turkey or somewhere. And I never thought anything of it. And I just did not at all think that it would have made it through an actual Hermes scarf.
How did no one?
That wouldn't make it through, because they have people that go through and work for them, and the company Glass Onion are the same people that supply Urban Outfitters, so they're really well respected. So I was going on a night out that night in Helensburgh, and I wore it, and it was very windy, so lip gloss, things getting stuck to it, and a young girl on the night out said, I love your real Hermes scarf, it's really nice, you know, my nana used to collect them. And I was like, this is not real, and I just got it today at a vintage sale.
And it was you.
It was you.
That is mad.
And what I learned from that, which was really cool, was, and that's the beauty of the internet, I was staying overnight at my mum's, and I thought, I'll just check for a laugh. And everything that it said matched up. Like with a real Hermes scarf, there is no stitching round the corners. It's a rolling 9-hour process. So there's no stitch, and it always says 100% swal on it, and there's always at least up to 7 colours. And so there are ways that you can actually check in now when I go to the sales. it's never happened again.
Yeah.
But I know what to look for, so it was brilliant.
Yeah, that's amazing though.
And I'd never been able to afford an Hermes scarf.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So if I ever need to pay the rent 1 month,
yeah,
it's on eBay.
Get that. So, that's mad that made it through. Like you say, people never. I wonder
now
if
that
they
I've
thought
said
it
that,
was...
if anyone's listening, they'll be like that, clamping down on it.
So do you find it hard at these sales because you're kind of trying to buy for a lot of people's taste, or do you just buy stuff that you love?
I buy stuff I love, but I've taken on board what people have said. So initially I was a bit selfish that way again. If maybe something was peeking out, it was an unusual sleeve, I would just catch a glimmer of it, and then I would inspect it, any stains, any buttons missing, because it's quite sad. Sometimes you get to the end, you're about to actually pay for everything, and you think, oh no, it's a big hole in it or something, and you think that's what you need to watch, you know, because it's been around for a long time. So you learn to kind of double check, triple check things, or else you're just going to like lose money. And I'm not a seamstress, so some people would be able to cut it up and make it into a dress or a skirt or whatever, but I can't do that. But a few people came in early days and said, where's your black clothes? I was thinking, because I don't wear black, and I don't remember really kind of seeking out black, but I did think maybe to counteract some of the prints I might have to eventually just do some colour blocking to make it less crazy. But a few ladies came in that are in the orchestra,
right,
and they said, well, we're on stage, we have to wear black, so please, when you go to the vintage sales, can you see if there's anything quirky and different, but it's in black. So now when I go, I try and pick at least 3 or 4 things that maybe when they come in, that they might actually be able to wear, because they wouldn't be allowed to wear anything really crazy print on stage. It would detract from the music or whatever. Yeah,
totally. I think that would be the hard thing, to kind of keep everyone happy. And
a lot of people like the sequins, and I know it's not just festival time, but I've kind of went a bit mad for the whole sequins as well.
No, I love the sequins.
So there's a whole row dedicated.
Yeah, no, it's amazing.
Thank you.
Okay, so this is a wee section that I like to call Check Them Out. So if you have any wee businesses that you think need a wee shout out, any ones that people need to know about, feel free to give them a wee shout out.
Okay, well, I have a few people that kind of inspired me. There is someone on Instagram called Dolly Up Vintage,
right,
and I absolutely love her stuff. So early on days where I was kind of thinking about what my shop might look like or what I might sell, her dresses do sell for about $600.
Wow.
And they're worn to the Oscars, so I'm not quite at that stage, but she's just got a real passion for it. Also, those were the days Vintage Edinburgh.
Right.
I've never been, but followed online, and the stuff just seems amazing. The shop, really inspirational, and the lady's like an expert in vintage.
Right.
So I think that's amazing. Spaced Out Mama,
right,
on Instagram, whose stuff is pure psychedelic.
Whoa.
And even the settings that she takes her photographs in are like pure 70s and 60s.
Oh, that's cool.
So she models everything herself as well.
Right.
So it's just really kind of visual, like a visual feast when you look at it. And then lastly, way back in the day when I was a lot younger, I would visit a place in the West End called Relic, which is near Ruthglyn Lane in Hill Head. But they've just moved to a place called Glorious, and it's in the West End. And they were the first people that I kind of saw that had preloved and vintage.
Right, okay.
So you would find a nice cardigan from River Island, but it would be about a third of the price, but it was well looked after, and it was steamed and it was cleaned, and it could even be something from Topshop, but it was like from quite a few seasons ago. So you always found something that was kind of cool, but it was within your budget. And I'm trying to kind of do that in my shop too.
With a wee mix of things. I think that's a good idea.
They've helped me and inspired me.
Oh no, that's
Definitely.
amazing. Yeah, check all them out. I'll tag them all in the post on Instagram as well if I can find them, so people could check them out. So the last thing is for you to plug yourself. So where can people find you? What have you got going on?
So at the moment I have a wee page on Instagram, so you could basically follow me on Frida and Coco Vintage. Basically on Facebook it's Frida and then the ampersand and Coco, and hopefully soon we're in the process of trying to build a website. So that'll be, we're doing a fashion shoot, so my niece who's trained to be an accountant, is very glamorous.
Yeah.
So she is going to be the model for the photo shoot down in the Moxie Hotel.
Oh, yeah.
And
okay.
I'm hoping that in years to come, when she qualifies, she'll do my accounts as well.
Oh,
so
yeah.
she'll be my model
Perfect.
and my accountant, and I'll just pay her back in like club gear or something, because
Nice.
she's really, really into stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say to anyone, I've had quite a few people coming in and saying it was a bit like getting to try on something from somebody's crazy wardrobe, and I kind of like that idea.
Yeah.
I like the idea that if you're prepared to come in and you want something just that's going to kind of bring a bit of sparkle, maybe something a bit different for your wardrobe, then pop into Frida and Coco, because you won't be disappointed. Everyone so far has said that they love it and they kind of like the fact it's a bit different.
Yeah, no, honestly, it is amazing.
Thank you.
If I wasn't on such a spending ban at the moment, this would be dangerous.
Please come back, you know. And I'm hoping to do things like maybe student discount and things like that, because when I was a student, it was always helpful to me. Maybe the odds, you know, promotional night or something like that, where I would quite like actually talking to drag queens to get the local drag queen community, people in, because again they're just so joyful and happy, to get the music going.
Totally.
Maybe even having swap shops and stuff like that. I have a license to also be an art gallery.
Oh, wow.
So down the line, I have one piece of artwork up at the moment from a local artist called John Fowley. So it's a hand painted fan. It's absolutely beautiful, and there are a few female photographers and different people. We're hoping that we might be able to launch the art gallery side soon for local community as well.
Oh, that's great. So if people follow you on Instagram, they can keep up to date with all of that stuff.
And please, if you are a local artist, designer, craftsperson, I would love to have a wee look at the stuff you do to see if maybe we could have some of it in the shop.
Perfect. And what's the address of the shop again?
It's 262 High Street, Glasgow.
Yeah, so definitely check in.
Really near the High Street station.
Yeah, no, it's a perfect place. Well, thank you so much for chatting with me. It's so nice to meet you.
Thank you.
And hear all about this vintage stuff. So thank you so much. And yeah, join me next week for more interviews. Bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Mind Your Business. If you're not already, be sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter at Mind Your Business Podcast for updates on future guests and behind the scenes look at what we've been chatting about in this episode. See you next week.